Hello and a warm welcome to Federal Special Program Capital Beat. Trinamool Congress seems to be heading for a split with over a dozen Lok Sabha MPs planning to write to Speaker Om Birla that they want to align with the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance, that is NDA. Now, this rebel group was led by Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, and they have said that they do not want to be led by Mamata Banerjee's nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, in the lower house of parliament. Now, what we are told is now, if you look at the numbers, TMC has 28 MPs in Lok Sabha, and what is reported is that 20 of them have written to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, and in fact, there are also reports how out of 28 MPs, 16 of them have rebelled, while 12 are still with Mamata Banerjee-led Trinamool faction. Now, in the letter that Dastidar has prepared, she has said that nearly 20 Lok Sabha MPs, along with her, have decided to write to the Lok Sabha Speaker and formally convey the desire to be part of the NDA. Now, this decision comes after extensive discussions among fellow MPs as of now. I remain, this is what Dastidar has said. Kakoli says that I remain the chief whip of the TMC in the Lok Sabha, and in that capacity, I have consulted colleagues before arriving at this decision. Now, Dastidar, if you remember, was removed as the TMC chief whip in the Lok Sabha on May 20th and replaced by Kalyan Banerjee. In fact, she had called her removal as arbitrary and unilateral. But if you talk about this split, which has reached Parliament now, and so the ultimate fight almost looks similar as what we saw in Maharashtra with Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray. And here also a similar kind of a fight seems to be brewing as the who is the real Trinamool, the Asli Trinamool versus the Nakli Trinamool. Are we going to see this battle headed to the court? Joining me this evening is Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much, Shikha, for joining. We have Shubhankar Bhattacharya, who is the Trinamool Congress spokesperson. And let me begin with Shubhankar. Shubhankar, what are your reports saying? Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar is saying that 20 MPs have written a letter to Om Birla and they are staking claim to their own manifestation of Trinamool. What is really happening? And they chose to do it on a day when Mamata Banerjee was in Delhi.
See, I tell you, Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar and Shukhendu Shekhar Rai, along with a couple of MPs, they had earlier also met Om Birla unofficially. In fact, we have reports that Om Birla did call some of the MPs as well. What happened? That is completely unreported, so I won't be speaking about it. But the question is that why exactly?
You were saying, sorry to interrupt you, you said Om Birla called those MPs themselves.
They had a call that is very well known. I think Shikhadi also knows that. But what was the I mean what was the conversation? That detail has not cropped up, so I shouldn't be talking about it because we don't have official report about it, and that was not an official call. They said that was a very it was very casual call. That is how they just that time they wrote it off. I'm just talking just after 4th of May. Just after 4th of May. So now the biggest question is if there was so much of dissent in the party and if that was not being actually, paid much heed to, what these rebel MPs are complaining about this, what exactly they were doing after that? It took a hell lot of time to come to that. The dissent, this kind of dissent, this mass dissent, cannot crop in a day or two. We all very well understand that. Now, this all happened. Riju Datta going on the screen, abusing the UP cop over there, that the super cop played a role of the agent who has, who tried to influence the entire election. These all complaints came from Riju Datta. He even ended up threatening on screen. He went on the national screen and he said he threatened that cop that just let this the result come through and then we'll show you. We heard Riju Datta. And immediately the day after, he cropped up, he came on the screen and said that, see, this is something that my party told me to say. And now So whether he was scared then or he is scared now, these MPs, these leaders, even see the councillors over there are threatened. The threatening is not only of to putting them behind bars, but in fact the goons. Now what they are saying is that they are the same people, the cadres who have changed who have jumped the ship. So this is the thing. This is the interesting part about it. When you say that the entire fund lies with Mamata Banerjee, so where does this new fund come up? Where does this new fund come up? So many meetings with Shubhendu Adhikari and all this started happening just after 4th of May. It took 9th of May when Shubhendu Adhikari took the oath over there as a CM. But before that, he started meeting the TMC people. In fact, in between the election as well, Shubhendu Adhikari did claim that he is in well touch with 20 or more MPs of TMC, and they are ready to they are ready to change the party anytime. These all claims are made in between the election, when the elections were actually underway. And now, all of a sudden, over all the media and everything, it is making like, oh, such a big surprise. Oh, TMC is breaking up. See, this is not a new norm. We have seen the same thing happening with Congress. I accept that time the TMC was a beneficiary. Happening with your we have seen it happening with the left. We have seen it happening with, and now the same thing is happening with TMC. So it's not a new norm in Bengal politics. But having said that, if you say, and if people, they act, so innocent, so naive that all of a sudden the things are happening. No, it is not all of a sudden. These are all well planned. It is planned to give the BJP, to deliver BJP a controlled opposition. Those people who cannot be taken in are given funds over there, are given funds to establish a new party. A lot of monetary exchange is taking place.
Shubhankar, are you saying that BJP?
I'm sorry, it's not audible again.
Just try and connect it. I'll come to Shikha in the meanwhile. Shikha, what Shubhankar was saying, do you see there as an attempt by the BJP to have its own choice of opposition? And this has begun from the Bengal model, what we also saw in Maharashtra. But what we are seeing in Bengal is something which is very different. Here they won with a handsome majority, and even then they are trying to uproot everything as far as the Trinamool organization is concerned, as far as the MLAs are concerned, and now it has reached the parliament. Would you say that this is some sort of a repeat of what we saw in Maharashtra, or is it something more dangerous in what we are seeing in Bengal?
2 points. One is that what has happened in Maharashtra, we have to keep the context in mind. In Maharashtra, the BJP was not in power. In the Bengal case, BJP is in power in West Bengal with a 2/3 majority, that is just one. And in the center, though it is in a minority, it is still leading the NDA government. Therefore, this is the BJP in power, and whatever is happening has to be judged accordingly. Number one, in the Lok Sabha, it is very obvious that Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar has issued a letter in which she says that the majority of the elected Lok Sabha MPs are with her and that they want to align themselves with the NDA. In West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee has not made that kind of declaration. He has not made that kind of declaration for two reasons. A, he and his colleagues, those who claim to be the majority in the West Bengal Assembly, some 60 of them, he says, have just won an election on a Trinamool symbol and ticket. Therefore, it is a little awkward for him to say that having campaigned vigorously against the BJP, to today claim that he is in alignment with the NDA. The BJP also doesn't need his votes, except, as you pointed out, that if you need a co-opted opposition, which he has promised to be, he says we are going to cooperate with the uh, treasury, with the ruling party. We are not going to do opposition for opposition's sake. So he's already co-opted himself with the government. Having done that, what he has done is not directly made himself a part of the NDA. The BJP probably didn't welcome it. For strategic and political reasons, he also did not move for it. But what remains is a very interesting situation. You have two legislature parties of the Trinamool in the state assembly. You have two parliamentary parties in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, which means that there are four parties doing the rounds. And if you notice what happened yesterday when Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar submitted her letter to Om Birla, you find that not only was Mamata Banerjee in Delhi for a different reason, which is the India Alliance meeting, but Shubhendu Adhikari was also there, obviously, to keep the flock together. Because if you if these reports, there are enough credible reports that at Bhupinder Yadav's house, Shubhendu Adhikari was also present when all these MPs were also there. So you have this situation where you have multiple parties all claiming to be Trinamool because none of them is willing to give up the Trinamool name. They're calling themselves new, they're calling themselves original, they're calling themselves the better half and saying that the other one is the worse half, all of which is fine. But nobody is giving up claims to the name. No one is willing to give up the brand. So it's a very, very interesting situation that is developing. Same happened in Maharashtra. Eknath Shinde didn't refuse to give up the Shiv Sena brand. He got it because the Election Commission allowed him to do so.
No, but here, Shikha, you have Kakoli Dastidar saying that, she has her own flock. She still remains the chief whip in the Lok Sabha.
Of the Trinamool Congress.
Of the Trinamool Congress. And she also says that she's written a letter to Om Birla. So now...
And Om Birla has accepted it.
Yes, and Om Birla has accepted it. So which means, in the ideal situation, the speaker should have left this discretion to someone else. But here it seems he's taken a call himself. And now this will become the real Trinamool, of course.
No,
in the
see, this is exactly what happened in Maharashtra. Why are we making a mistake? This is exactly what happened in Maharashtra. The speaker said that Eknath Shinde is the real Shiv Sena. He also said that Ajit Pawar's faction of the NCP was the real NCP. This is a pattern that has now emerged with the Election Commission endorsing all this. Because at the time when the elections came up, the name and the symbol came up for consideration. And that is what has happened.
No, but I'm sure, Shikha, but I'm sure there's no going back as far as these 20 MPs are concerned. Today also I was finding a poster with all those 20 MPs who have rebelled. Now, what are the options left with Mamata Banerjee? Let's talk about that. Is Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee totally isolated now? What will they do with a handful of MPs? What can they do now?
See, what is important here is this. The Trinamool Congress legislature parties, these are legislature parties without the party. I mean, a party has 2 or 3 parts to it because it's an institution. It has a body which runs the party. It has a body which is the organization of the party, and then it has elected members. So 1 or 2 parts of the elected members of the Trinamool have done a run. They've run for it. So which means that they are elected representatives without an organization. So where does that leave them in terms of a party? Mamata Banerjee is the boss of the Trinamool Congress along with Abhishek and others. Abhishek, Dula Sen and others. So she has an organization And she has a few MPs and MLAs who are with her. So she has a party, an organization, legislators. The other lot have nothing except themselves. Now that's a very, very peculiar situation. A little bit unlike in Maharashtra, where Eknath Shinde was and is a powerful leader at the grassroots level. Eknath Shinde's popularity and his presence and his control over politics in the Thane region is known. Ajit Pawar's popularity and control over the Baramati area was known, and it was proved through the election. Now, what remains is to see whether these legislatures without a party and a party without without the majority of its legislatures, how they work it out. Will Mamata Banerjee go into oblivion? Who knows? Sharad Pawar's party has unfortunately been emerged very weak, as has Uddhav Thackeray's party, which is the other part of the Shiv Sena. Will the same fate happen to Mamata Banerjee? We will have to wait and see when it happens, because two things. One, there are municipal and corporation elections coming up at the end of the year, which is when the whole symbol and the who is the party and what is the party will really come into play at the level of the voter. Now it will be all in the election commission and in the courts. At the level of the voter, it will come into play at the end of the year when the corporation elections are due. That is when these legislatures without a party will have to come out into the field and figure out whether they are trusted as representatives of the people, and who are they, and how do they define themselves, what kind of identities do they have. They have to do all of this. It's coming up. And then, of course, there is 2029, which is the big one, when the Lok Sabha elections are held.
Right. Shubhankar, if I may ask you, it's quite obvious, but even then, this question needs to be asked and answered by Trinamool Congress. You've been coming as a spokesperson for this party for a very, very long time. What is it for people like you who've been, spokespersons of the party? Now you do not know. You seem to be at a lurch. On behalf of whom are you going to talk? You'll speak on behalf of Mamata Banerjee, or will you be speaking on behalf of Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar?
No, Niluji, right. It's a thing of concern. Huh? Ab to naukri gayi. So, anyways, it wasn't.
I hope the naukri remains intact.
No. Actually, let me tell you, the funniest part is that a very lesser fact is known about me is that I was much in active politics with Trinamool, in fact, and I was made their official. I was one of the spokesperson, and that was when Arjun Singh ji was active over there. Arjun Singh used to, look after the UP as well. So I helped. And let me tell you a very interesting fact. There was one guy called Mr. Saurabh Bandyopadhyay. Please do search his name. This guy is the same person who, along with Sanjeev Mukhia, his name cropped up in the paper leak case. And this time he is very close. If you remember, I have sent some reports. I've shared the reports with you as well earlier, right? Showing that guy along with Anurag Thakur, Rajnath Singh, and a lot of powerful people in BJP nowadays. So he was the main responsible person who actually helped establish TMC in UP. And there was a time when Mamata Banerjee, she even herself actively came to UP. She conducted a number of canvassing programs. This I'm talking about 2014 Lok Sabha. So we did contest on 5 seats over here. So I, along with Arjun Singh ji, along with Mukul Rai used to come to UP, and Arjun Singh, I helped them establish 25 mandal offices over here. So I have met them and I've seen them and I've understood their their politics from a very I mean, I had a very close point of view. I got that opportunity to
No,
meet Didi a couple of times over
I
there for this. Now
I
let me tell
myself
you what
have
I saw.
No, I'm saying I myself have been in touch with you for years now. You've been coming on my programs on various platforms. But now, today, when you see this crisis in front of you, in front of your party, uh, how is how is the situation unfolding at the lower levels of the party also? It's the organization, it's the MLAs, it's the MPs now, and similarly with the spokespersons and other staff. So, how do you ally yourself with the party now? Are you also at a lurch? Like Mamata Banerjee is speechless right now. She doesn't know how to tackle the situation. It is, I mean, all said and done, this is the biggest shock Mamata Banerjee could ever get. So, how are you going to really tackle this situation, handle this situation?
See, to me, the Trinamool Congress comes up with two symbols. One is, of course, the Trinamool symbol, and one is the face of Mamata Banerjee. You can never write off Mamata Banerjee that way. Even if Trinamool has lost the election in West Bengal, it was the loss of Mamata Banerjee. If Trinamool wins West Bengal, it was the victory of Mamata Banerjee. So the thing is, these leaders were not that they were relevant only under the symbol of Trinamool Congress. Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar and Sukhendu Shekhar Rai, they even entered. I tell you one incident when these both leaders came to UP when that Lakhimpur, that Akash Teni and Ashish Teni thing happened over there, right? Amit Teni and Ashish Teni, right? So that they crushed a number of villagers under their SUV and also. So at that particular time, Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar and Shukhendu Shekharai both came to UP. Both tried to visit Lakhimpur, but they were stopped. They were sent back. And while in the airport, I remember in an interview they said that the only biggest fight for the public can be given by Mamata Banerjee. That time they didn't knew about any dissent. They had no problem with Abhishek Banerjee. They didn't have any problem with Mamata Banerjee. So they have fought a lot of war under the flagship of Mamata Banerjee only. That is one thing. I tell you that even in last election in 2021, while 70 odd the netas switched the side, they went to BJP. 70 seats were fought with the new faces, completely new faces, and they also came victorious that time. They also came victorious. So that fight, I'm not trying to justify that this victory is, this loss is nothing. See, this loss, any sane mind can very well, can gather that this was anything but a show of mandate. This election was not a show of mandate. To fight Mamata Banerjee, they needed the intervention of ED, CBI, and of course, in double inverted commas, Ganesh Kumarji. Until unless they were into the picture, this probably Mamata Banerjee could have even lost in that particular case also. But this kind of loss was nowhere expected. And that is why Mamata Banerjee continuously said, we have seen how Bhawanipur, the counting was done. Once the counting was stopped and everything came up. Did Supreme Court pay heed to any complaint? Any complaint? Earlier, Ganesh Kumarji, the election, the entire election commission over there, they said that if the deletion, the percentage of deletion and the vote margin, the margin of defeat, it is larger than the margin of defeat. Those cases at those particular seats will be heard of. How many seats have they actually, recognized like that? While continuously those cases, there has been pleas lying at the doors of Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court has not paid heed to even in
So
one
now
particular
Mamata
case.
Banerjee, but
So
now will
now the
Mamata
thing
Banerjee,
is, now
now
after
will she approach
everything,
the court? Shibankar, now will Mamata Banerjee approach the court?
see, now Mamata Banerjee has only one thing to do to restructure the party. to restructure the party, to come up with a newer faces, to at least show these guys that even she still has that brand presence over there, that Mamata Banerjee can create free new netas of West Bengal, who can raise the voice of
No, but
dissent over there.
that's easier. No, Shubhankar, that's easier said than done. I would like to come to Shikha Mukherjee. Shikha, do you think that's going to be easy? What Shubhankar pointed out, that she should start rebuilding and restructuring the party. Do you think, in the face of what's going on all around Mamata Banerjee, do you think that's going to be an easy task? Will she be able to do that? And most of all, will BJP allow her to do all that? That's also one of the most important questions. Unmute yourself. Shikha, unmute yourself, please. Yeah. Unmute. Unmute. You'll have to unmute. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Yeah. Okay. The point you've really raised the key question, which is, will she be allowed
Yeah.
to work to remake her party, rebuild her party? One, there are lots and lots of obstacles in her way that the BJP has already put. Why? Because if you look at what is happening on the ground, ED raids, CID raids, arrests, and kangaroo courts put up by the public have intimidate. One is state power, the other one is the so-called public power, the power of the people. All of them have been used to create a sense that the Trinamool's party leaders, Trinamool's representatives, whether in the panchayats or in the corporations, are a bunch of thieves. You know, the chor slogan, which everybody is talking about, which Ritabruto Banerjee constantly uses. So this chor business is a problem for the Trinamool Congress. The Mamata's capacity to overcome this will depend on how she plays it. It's going to be a very tough fight for her, both physically as well as mentally and in terms of strategy. It's going to be very, very tough, number one. Number two, how does she build the party if she's just suffered this setback where people she thought she could trust and rely on have ditched her? Someone say like Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar. Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, I remember, has been with her from before she set up the Trinamool Congress. So someone like that leaving is particularly hurtful. The second thing is, look at what happened to, and here I want to bring in somebody else. Shubhankar will remember her, Sonali Guha. Sonali Guha, they were like Siamese twins at one time, Mamata and Sonali Guha. She quit in 2021, just before the 2021 elections. Today she's nowhere. No one even remembers her name. But I do, because I saw her with Mamata Banerjee all the time. So Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar's loss is therefore also a personal loss for Mamata Banerjee. It does bring into question who she can trust and who she cannot trust. Look at Ritabruto Banerjee, right? Ritabruto Banerjee comes into the party in 2017. He is a tainted leader in the sense that the CPM expelled him. He was in the political wilderness. She brought him in and gave him some respectability.
No, but Shikha,
The point is, here she tried to infuse new blood, not just goons, but talent.
yes,
In the sense that Ritabruto Banerjee is one of them. It's not that the party was full of goons and thugs and thieves. Ritabruto Banerjee says that he is against all of that. But he has to also remember that he was brought into the party by her.
yeah.
So,
No, but given the situation right now, Shikha, running short of time, which is why I'm sorry to interrupt you, that would you say or is it premature to say that it's the end of Mamata Banerjee's story?
No, I don't think it's the end of Mamata Banerjee's story. She could go the Mayawati way, which is,
Okay.
a steady decline. But let me just one more point that I want to make about this thugs and thieves, etc. Does it mean that every one of the people who has gone with the 60 MLAs who have gone with Ritubrata Banerjee, or the 19 MPs who've gone with um, Kakoli Ghosh Dastidar, are all rod clean, squeaky clean, and without any kind of problem attached to their names? That is not true. Washing machine, the washing machine effect is also in play here. So there are
Right.
many, many, many things that are happening.
Right.
But
All
yes,
right.
Mamata Banerjee is in a very weak position as of now.
Right. She is indeed in a very weak position. Very quickly, Shubhankar, I'm coming to you for the last comments. And very briefly, what Shikha pointed out, that Mamata Banerjee could go the Mayawati way. So Mayawati is in oblivion. She's just physically there, but politically almost absent. So are we to say the same thing about Mamata Banerjee? Very briefly.
Neeluji, I think, see, I'm not a soothsayer. And, it's very hard to say that which way exactly Mamata Banerjee will be doing. But there is a larger question, standing over here. What kind of opposition are you seeing now, centrally or in the state? Everything is controlled, and see, once these MPs are poached, it becomes very easier for the BJP to bring up those amendments which shall affect the
Right.
constitution on the large. And now the voice of dissent has to come down to the street level, where you will
Right.
find more cockroaches rising, and you
Hmm.
can call them by any name, but the dissent is there, which the larger part of the media is not showing. So until unless that opposition, we have a proper, they get the proper strength, proper voice, that till that time a democracy is not complete. The fight for democracy somehow is going to get one blow after the other.
Right. So we'll have to wait and watch how the things on Mamata Banerjee's front unfold from here. And there'll be a lot of drama in the coming monsoon session also, since the Speaker has accepted all the 20 or the 19 MPs who've gone and with a letter to Om Birla. But how Mamata Banerjee is going to handle this situation, what happens to the battle between the real Trinamool and the second faction of the Trinamool, which has now come up. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much, Shikha Mukherjee, Shubhankar Bhattacharya. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.